And welcome back to another episode on Across the Board. It is a Monday night. It has gotten cold again.
Uh,
I mean,
I knew you were gonna
listen,
say it. I knew you were
I,
gonna say it. And it has.
I thought we were done with this cold weather. We were in the panhandle. I was like, we're done with this. I got up Sunday morning to go to work, freezing. Balls, nuts, I was freezing. This was insane. Oh boy, it was not pleasant.
It was 80 up here on Thursday, and it was a high of 40, like 5 today. So
Yeah, no,
I don't understand.
Saturday I was sweating. It was hot. And then Sunday, I'm like, what just happened? I mean,
Going the wrong direction.
goodness, man.
Going the wrong direction.
Not good. But tonight, the low's supposed to be like 27. But then we're starting to move up as the week goes on. Um, but that's your weather update and your weather forecast for the past few days. Um, got a lot to cover tonight. All college basketball,
I'd say
some
not
games of
not
the
not
week.
a lot as in different sports, but we do have a lot in a singular sport we have to cover.
Yeah. Got college basketball. Obviously, recap your games. Some very big games this week. You'll kind of catch a little pattern here whenever we get going. And then a little 16, little top 16, where we are going to be checking. Is that going to be seedings or is that
Yes.
just, yeah, some seedings? Give our thoughts on that. And
Yep.
always, Jane's favorite segment, stress meter. Got to have that there. And then, of course, your schedule, game of the week to go watch. A little update for next week. If I'm very confident, we're going to get prepared for conference tournaments to begin.
Yep.
Uh, I think we'll
We're
make our
it's
predictions.
The music should start playing about any time now. We're right around the corner, man. This is
Mhm.
the last week of February. Last week of February. Then we
It's
get to
insane,
March. March. It's
and
March Madness,
then it gets
baby.
real.
I know.
It gets real. It gets
You
real.
talk about us
But
being,
with that being said, let's go.
ankles deep already. We're gonna be knees deep come next week.
I'm very excited. You know I am. But with that being said, let's go and hop right into it. Let's start with some games this week, and of course, you know where I'm going. Let's go to the weekend games. Absolute bangers. Who would have thunk that the top four teams would be squaring off in late February?
Well, yeah.
Who
I
would have
mean,
thunk that one?
insane. Obviously, when they put that schedule together, um, beginning of the season last year, whatever, they really didn't expect this game to be what it was. Probably, they probably expected Michigan to be pretty good. Duke, obviously going to be good. They expected themselves to be good, but man, they scheduled this game and we got a heck of one. I mean, yeah, I
What we did.
heck, I mean, final what? Top
Let's
four played this week, and uh, you couldn't have asked for much better.
definitely not. I want to start with Arizona and Houston. That's the first game. Of course, great game. Arizona shot 45% from the field, Houston's
Mm-hmm.
36%. Arizona, 25% from three, only three pointers made in this game, to Houston's 31%. From the free throw line, Arizona was 65% to Houston's 82. The turnover ratio, Houston turned the ball over 12 times, while Arizona turned it over five. Um, I did make a note here, and I have it. One of the big differences in this game, and not really a surprise to me,
Mm-hmm.
Arizona points in the paint had 38 to Houston's 20. Um, no surprise there. That's where they're going to score, and I
Well,
think
no.
everybody should know that by now. Arizona doesn't shoot three ball much. They will get that ball in the paint. They're going in the paint to score. They dominated there in this game. Um, but what are your takeaways after this game?
I mean, nothing surprising really. Um,
Oh, I have to mention also Koa Pete out as well for
yes,
Arizona.
Koa Pete obviously being out,
With that,
it was a big deal. It was a big deal as in we would see what Arizona was like without him, how big of a deal it was that he was out, or not. How big of a deal if he was out. It wasn't that much big of a deal, and obviously they showed it wasn't that big of a deal. Um, I mean, yeah, like you said, pretty much saw what we thought. I mean, they're the second leading rebound team in the nation. They're going to rebound the ball great, and a lot of their shots are going to come inside the paint, and that's exactly what they do. Not surprising there at all. For them, though, I mean, man, they did what they did best, and that's not shoot the three ball. They don't shoot the three ball a ton, like you said, which is insane for a team of this caliber to not shoot the three ball that much. But again, at the same time, I mean, why? When you can just score as much as you can in the paint, you don't have to take a three ball. I mean, when they do it as well as they do, rebounding, and usually this is co-repeat. Obviously, is usually a big deal in this side of the game, and for them to be without him and still show that they have this ability to score in the paint, this ability to rebound, I mean, they just show you they can beat you in the same way, but even without some of their star players. Obviously, would love to see them shoot the three ball more, just because they do have players, Braden Burries being one of them, who can shoot the ball really great and who can make the three. And they just,
And Delorso.
yeah, I mean, they've got guys who can shoot the three well, and they just don't do it. I'm trying to find where they are ranked in 3-point attempts per game. I know they're way down there, but still, I mean, obviously Houston coming to this game, man, it was at Houston. They thought they could get a win. They really needed a win. I mean, not like really needed it, but it would have been, obviously, this is a game that they wanted. They're playing Arizona, of all teams. They want this game. They want to beat Arizona. And, I mean, like you said, they got out-rebounded. We've seen Houston. Their defense might not be as great as we usually see from a team like them, but their offense is better. And, I mean, only 66 points in this game. Didn't show up a ton. To be honest, they didn't. I did want to say, though, Arizona is the 354th ranked team in 3-point attempts per game. They average 16.4.
They're one of the bottom teams.
The teams below them: Binghamton, Presbyterian, Delaware State, Rider, Seton Hall, which we knew, we knew that, Texas State, and Tarleton State. They are, I mean, that is insane. They're the eighth worst team in the eighth. I mean, not eighth worst, I guess, but they shoot 354th ranked in 3-point shots per game. They've only taken 444 all year. That's insanity. That's insane. I wish they'd shoot a little more because they, like I said, they have players, but they show you that they don't need to do that. And they did that against Houston, and man, they just like a team who could, win a championship. Both teams can. We've seen both teams compete. Houston competed in this game. They only lost by 7. It's not a big loss for Houston. Obviously a game they want to win, but they're still a championship title contender as well.
And I want to keep us moving along, but I do have to ask a quick question. Are you at least a little concerned about Arizona not not taking a lot of 3-point shots and not being able to really shoot the ball maybe outside the paint well? I mean,
You see, I brought that up.
I feel like
I brought Arizona not shooting the three ball up because I am kind of concerned come March. We've seen the 3-point ball be a huge deal in March. You get down in a game, because it's going to happen. You're going to get down in a game. You've got to come back. And what do you do to get back? What do you do to make up a lead? And that's shoot the three. And guard play in March is always huge. That's why they always say the teams that don't have great guards won't go far. But at the same time, it's also teams that don't have guards that will. I mean, they have guards who can take the shots and make the shots when needed, but their game doesn't revolve around that. So let's just say they get punched in the mouth once and they're down and they've got to come back and they've got to shoot the three ball. Well, they just don't attempt that many threes, so they might not be used to chucking up threes all the time. And if they do, maybe they're not used to seeing this many threes go up, so maybe they're not making them that much. They're ranked 110th in 3-point percentage. They shoot 35.36%. Um, I mean, it's not like you look at a team like Wisconsin, for example, they shoot the three ball a lot. They're ranked 117th. I mean, they're behind them at 35.27%. But at the same time, I would think obviously Wisconsin puts up a ton more shots than Arizona. So, and they've put up almost double the amount of shots that Arizona has, and they shoot basically the same amount, same percentage. That's what had Wisconsin beat Michigan. They shot the three ball insanely well. Things like that. Like you see a team like that who can beat a team because they shoot a three ball a lot. If they play a team like Wisconsin who can shoot the three ball, or they play some low seed that can shoot the lights out from behind three, and they start getting down, and they're going to have to either pound the paint over and over and over and over again and get a ton of touches, or they're going to have to shoot the three ball. And it just questions me on whether or not they can do that. That's the only thing that concerns me. Obviously, they're a great team; they can win the national title, but it's an asterisk there of maybe there's something to look at.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring it up because that was one of my concerns too. I mean, and again, great team in the paint, but when you get behind, you're gonna have to start making up some points
Mm-hmm.
there. I do want to talk about Duke and Michigan, but I want to stay on the Houston train for a moment. I want to go to Monday night's game. Iowa State and Houston. This was a thriller. Okay, at halftime, these numbers may be flipped around. I believe Iowa State was 56% from three land and 63% from the field. Those numbers may be flipped around. Shooting was elite in the first half. This was a great game. Iowa
Yeah.
State shot 49% from the field, Houston 42%. Iowa State 41% from three to Houston's 35%. The free throw numbers, this was a little concern, and this is my concern for Iowa State. Um, they were 50% from the free throw line. They're the bottom team in the Big 12 in free throw percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Houston shot 64% from the free throw line. However, they did beat Houston in the paint 28-16. And that's an important number again because that's twice they've gotten outscored by double digits in the paint
Mm-hmm.
in these last two games. Um, what do you make of these two teams? Because it's interesting.
They're both title contending teams. Um, they both have great offenses. We see that they can play defense, obviously. We knowing Houston, that's the strength that it usually is. But again, like I said earlier, maybe not the strength that they have this year. Both teams are great. Both teams can win a national championship. It was going to be a tough game there, and it was another tough loss for Houston because they had that game. They really did. They should have won that game. I mean, let's just say they should have won that game. But playing at Iowa State and playing in that environment is the only reason Iowa State won that game. And I don't say that as like, Iowa State's bad and they wouldn't win that game at a neutral site, whatever. No, no, no. I'm saying if that game was played at a neutral site, the deficit to come back when they were down really, really late in that game wouldn't have happened. They win that game because of being at home and because of that crowd and because of that environment. And that's great for them. That's a good win. That's a great win for them. And again, they both can compete. It's another Houston loss that maybe that obviously they don't want, and that we're not used to seeing Houston take. But it doesn't matter that much, like right? I mean, they can still win a national title, and so can Iowa State. Obviously, we've seen that they're great. They can win a national title, and they have the players, they have the guards that can do it. They have the size, they have the ability, just like Houston. I take away that both these teams are going to be competitive, and we could see this matchup again, maybe Big 12 tournament, depending on the seeding, or even come late in March. I mean, this could be a late in March matchup, maybe Final Four, depending where they get seated and stuff. I mean, it could easily happen.
100%. 100%. I watched all this game on Monday. I was baffled. That just to say the least, I was baffled.
Yeah, I did want to
Um,
say that Iowa State ranks 339th in free throw percentage. I know you were talking about how they were bad at that. They shoot
Yeah,
66.96%. That is one thing about Iowa State that could be a lot better.
it's well, yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to harp on it too much. It's one of those things for me. Like I
Same
look
thing
at
with the
it,
Arizona
I'm
three
on.
ball. It's just there's just small things that if they could do this a little better, then they would be, you know,
Yeah,
just
well, to
outstanding.
me, I don't like thinking in a what if mindset, but it's like, okay, you're in a late game in March.
Hmm.
You know, you need clutch free throws. I mean, and that's your. And I think in the Houston game, they missed a couple late in the game that kind of allowed Houston to have a
Yeah.
chance. I mean, again. I don't want to harp on it too much, but just to me, it's little things like we said
Well, a
that
team like Houston, for
it,
example, they do foul quite a bit. I mean, they play that aggressive defense. You're gonna get fouls against
and
them, and
Vanderbilt as well.
yeah, you play that aggressive defense that they have. You're gonna get fouls. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get free throws. So in a game like that, you've got to make them. And so you just play a team like that, and it would just be better to see them make a little more.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now we can go back to Saturday's game. I wanted to kind of just stick with the Houston Trojans. We already talked about it. Duke and Michigan, uh, great game
Heck of a
here.
game.
45 Duke 45% from the field,
Hmm.
Michigan 40. Duke 32% from the field or from 3-point land. Michigan only 24%.
Hmm.
Both teams equally 71% and 72% from free throw land.
Yep.
Uh, Duke won the glass, 13 offensive rebounds to Michigan's 8, and outscored Michigan 34-24 in the paint. Um, Duke, Cam Boozer, um,
They're a dangerous team.
closing out closing out games.
Hmm.
Obviously, last year, good
Well,
for me in the final four,
yeah,
and good for me in the final
we
four
said
because
it
I
earlier
had Houston,
this
but
year about Duke not being able to finish some games that they probably should have, or like closing them out as in beating teams by 10 points or more when they should, or games being closer than they should. We've said that before earlier in the season, but here they obviously do it, and it's a great game. It's an amazing win. Obviously, you get a win over the number one team in the nation. No surprise there. And Cam Bouger looked good. I mean, almost had a triple double against Yaxel and Michigan. That's insane. I mean, that is playing some good ball. I think he's still the favorite for National Player of the Year. We'll talk about the one of the other guys here probably in a second, who probably honestly might be, in my opinion, the number one guy. But um, obviously, Cam Boucher being great and amazing, and that Duke team all around, a great team. We knew they were. I mean, there's a reason they're ranked number. They were the reason they were ranked number three. The reason why they won this game. Both teams again. It's another one. Michigan was number one. Obviously, Duke's number one now. It doesn't matter. This is a game that we might see again come late March, April. I mean, it could easily happen because these two teams are that good. I mean, it was just kind of a foreshadow of maybe what could happen in March.
again, great game. I'm excited. I mean, they're two great teams. I think it's awesome though. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, like the Big Ten scheduling, just to see an opponent that you could possibly play in March. It's nice seeing something different than your style,
Yeah.
than what you're used to
Well, this is.
seeing.
I mean, it's
So
obviously like we said earlier. It's an interesting scheduling by John Shire. I obviously he wanted to play Michigan, and they got it done. Again, like I said, they might not have thought that Michigan was going to be this good come this late in the season. Maybe a top 10 team, maybe a top 5 team. I don't think they were expecting them to be number one. The other interesting point was that they played in DC, which will host for March.
elite,
Yeah,
the Elite Eight,
they
correct?
will host. So maybe Duke did that on purpose. I don't know, but at the same time, I mean, it's a great scheduling. It's good to see these teams. We don't see that often where you see two teams from different conferences and top teams from different conferences play this in the
I wish
season.
I wish we could see this more, honestly.
We see it, obviously
But
we see it a lot of non-con, and it happens in the non-conference slate, but it's early on in the season. You don't see these teams
that's
fully, developed, that as they are this late in the season, and being able to see these two teams battle it out and show that they are two of the most competitive teams in the nation. and why they're two of the best.
Mhm. For sure, man. And that was my you perfect. I couldn't say any better myself.
Yeah.
Obviously, just in the middle of the season is different. Um, Final game I want to talk about. Kansas Cincinnati. This was a nightmare. Um, Kansas 44% from the field. Cincinnati 48. Kansas 22% from three land. Cincinnati 39%. Kansas 77% from the free throw line to Cincinnati 67%. They got killed on the glass.
I mean,
I
this is
mean,
probably one of the worst losses that we've seen Bill Self in Kansas take it home.
but yeah, I do want to say Cincinnati has turned it
Oh,
around.
they have.
I mean,
They
they
have.
they played well, but
After
you're better.
their coach apologizing to their team about how bad they were and everything, they turned it around.
I thought that was the fans he apologized to. I thought he was like, "Y'all deserve better. Like,
Yeah.
we'll get it
I
done."
mean,
And
he's
then,
done it. So
um,
obviously they're still sitting on the well. They really I wouldn't really say bubble. They've got to do some work. Um, but yeah, they've turned it around. They've looked great, and this is a great win for them. It helps their ability to maybe get in. Uh, Bad loss for Kansas, but I think the biggest takeaway from this game is not Kansas losing. Um, it's their star player. It's Darren Peterson, and I don't know I don't know what to say about Darren Peterson, man.
I
Other
do.
than I love him, as in he's a great player. He's an amazing player. He is the number one player in the nation. Come the draft, 100%. I don't care what people say. He is the best player come the draft. The only problem is we've said this before. His minutes, I don't understand it. No clue. I think he played like two in the second half, maybe 1 minute in the second half, something like that. I mean, he had what 18 points in the first. Like it just doesn't make any sense, and it's become a problem. It's become so much of a problem that people have asked him. And actually, I think it was just today that he answered, and somebody asked him about him playing and why he's not playing and what's going on, and he was like, "Look, man, if I could play, I would." I don't know what that means. Because we've said it. Maybe it's an injury. Maybe it's an injury thing. Maybe it's uh, an agent thing.
I'll
Maybe it's
tell
a
you.
family thing. Maybe
I'll
it's an
tell you what
NBA
I think.
draft thing. Maybe it's I don't know what it is. Bill Self doesn't really know. Let's be honest. He doesn't. He's saying I haven't really even had the opportunity to coach you. That was his phrase said to Darren Peterson. Um, I mean that's kind of bad if you're a coach. If you say that, I mean he hasn't got his full potential from his best player, one of the best players that Bill Self's ever had. I'm gonna quote it right now. Um, Obviously a ton of great players coming through Kansas, but he's so good and he means so much to this team. You see here tonight, they're playing Houston right now, and
They're up four at halftime, and
well, it's second half. So
he's not
they
their
just
lead.
started the second half. But
Yeah, and he's not even their leading scorer.
no, he's not. But he's made such of a difference because he brings so much attention to himself because of the fact that defenses have to put guys on him. They have to double team him. They know how good of a scorer he is. It makes the game a whole different, just so much different. And for him not to be on the floor hurts Kansas worse than I think any other player not being on the floor for any other team hurts them. Um, and we see that we've seen that they can win without Darren Peterson. They can, but they're not as volatile when it comes to these big games without him. And we've seen that they can lose these small games when he doesn't play. So it's interesting to see. I know somebody asked him today as well. What about March? Like, would he play March Madness? And he said, "Well, I love basketball. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I want to do. And yeah, let's go. Let's get it on in March. That's what I want to do. But again, who knows whether that means okay, let's get it on the first half. Let's play 18 minutes. Let's play 20 minutes. That's it. Who knows? He is. I saw it. They showed it just earlier. He is the third best player in points per game, points per 40 minutes played. He's only behind AJ Debansa and shoot, Iowa State's guy. I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Is it
Mm,
Lipsy or Djokovic?
It's
I can't say his
yeah,
name.
it's the Djokovic, whatever it is. I'm blanking right now, but he averages for 40 minutes 29.2 points per game for every 40 minutes played. third best. You're losing. If he could put up 30 for you in 40 minutes, I mean, 30 points is a lot. I mean, this man averages 18 on 18 minutes. I mean, if he played 20, like, it doesn't make any sense. But it might not ever make sense to us.
Um, you know, I'll give you my personal thoughts. Like at first, I was one of the people. Me and you've had the conversation off camera plenty of times. I've been one of the people to just kind of. At first, I was a little skeptical. I'm like, man, he's. I don't know. I've questioned his ability. More of his want, but I feel like I kind of wise up a little bit to say this. Like, I can't blame him. He just turned. I mean, he was 18, just turned 19, January 17th. I'm gonna be honest. We none of us know. We can't speculate because nobody knows the answer.
Mm-mm.
But you know how many people he's got in his ear probably right
Exactly.
now
Yeah.
telling him? Like, I feel like people don't understand that aspect. Like, he's only 19. Like, your brain's never not even fully developed to your 25. You're asking him to make a decision that, I mean, but
He,
I mean, it's not even asking. It feels like he's just being told.
Yeah,
Like, it's not
and
like,
again, like we said,
you know,
it could be an agent in his ear telling him not to play. He doesn't want to get hurt, doesn't want him. Maybe it's his family saying, "Hey, you're going to go number one. There's no reason to play. You're putting up the points you need to put up to still look like the number one pick in the draft." Who knows? I don't think it's Bill Self. I don't think it's Kansas per se. It might be an injury still. Who knows? He was hurt. He was kind of lingering on injury early in the season, an actual injury. Maybe it's still bothering him. Maybe something like that. Like we said, I don't think we'll ever know. Uh,
no, well, and to me, it's like the injury, the real controversy came with the flu when he said he had the flu, and I I didn't get to read the actual. I know a lot of screenshots were put on Instagram, like the text and whatnot. I couldn't honestly read the message, maybe because I got blurry images. I don't know what was said, but I don't think any one of us have the right to speculate anything that's going on because none of us know. Like, I think it's idiotic and stupid to sit up here and say, "Well, I think like none of us know what's going
it could
on."
be anything.
Like
It really could be.
I I just don't think it's fair to him as a player. Again, he's 19, he just turned
Yeah, I
19.
mean,
I
you
mean,
could say the same thing about Kansas. It's not fair to Kansas. But again, I
yeah,
don't
I mean,
think we can sit here and speculate because we just don't know and we won't know. We just hope that
that's where
I just hope that he plays in March and he gives us 40 minutes in March because if so, and we'll talk about Kansas here in a little bit because he's one of the teams obviously in the top 16. I think they can go pretty dang far if he plays 40 minutes. Because
and they've got pieces.
yeah,
I mean, you've got Trey White's playing well tonight, Melvin
Bryson
Council,
Tiller's playing good. Badunga's
Bedunga,
obviously
Bryson
great.
Tiller.
Yeah, I mean they got the guys, and so if he could just be another one, they can go far. They
Mhm,
can go far.
yeah, but that's done with that. We'll see what happens going forward. But it's time for stress meter. Your favorite
I did want to bring up something
seg.
before. Sorry,
Oh,
before we get to stress meter.
no, go ahead.
Obviously we were
Go ahead.
mentioning a few of the games in the last week. There's a ton of games this last week and a ton of upsets this last week. So I wanted to go over some of them, and ranked losses this week. Just wanted to knock out who lost. There was 19. Well, including tonight's two games. Uh, so from last Monday night when we made their episode, I'm not counting Iowa State, Houston, those games that played last Monday. But since then, to tonight, and the games on tonight. Obviously, Houston, Kansas, there will be a ranked team that loses, whether it's Houston or Kansas. That would make 19 ranked teams losing over the past week, and 11 of them were unranked teams beating ranked teams. That is insane. Probably one of the most insane weeks that we've seen all season, if not the whole season. Um, but I just want to mention some. Number one obviously lost. Number two lost. Obviously, we knew those games. We talked about those. Number five lost. UConn lost to Creighton earlier this week. That's a huge game.
Blue
That was
Jays.
that was insane. Number six lost at Iowa State. Obviously, getting beat by BYU on Saturday. Number seven lost. Uh, Purdue obviously getting beat by Michigan. Number eight lost. Kansas obviously Cincy. We talked about that one. Number nine lost. Nebraska losing to Iowa on Tuesday.
That was a nightmare, man.
That was yeah.
Don't even want to get into
That
that.
was insane. Number 10 lost, and Illinois losing to UCLA. Great game. I also called that. Just want to say it was one of my upset picks for last week. Overtime, but they did get it done. So I don't know, just called it. Number 13 loss. Obviously, Texas Tech losing to Arizona State. That started off the week of upsets last week on Tuesday. That was insane. And then a few more. Number 16, UNC lost to NC State. Number 18, St. Louis lost to URI. Number 24, Wisconsin lost to Ohio State. Number 23 in BYU lost to Arizona. Number 20, Arkansas lost to Bama. That's a double overtime game. Huge one there. Number 19, Vandy lost twice this week to Mizzou and to Tennessee. And then number 24, obviously Louisville losing tonight to UNC. And number 5 or number 14 will lose. So, yeah, if you were a ranked team this week, it was survive and advance, I guess. If you were a ranked team that didn't lose, which there's only about 6 of them, I think, then you had a great week. You had a great week because most teams in the top 25 did not.
Yeah, man, that was something. All right, let's get this, dude. Let's get in the stress meter. College basketball's
Let's
back.
do it.
Um, I lost my train of thought. Um, I was about to say there were so many games. Obviously, we can't recap all of them because we'd be here all night.
We would be.
Um, but great games. All right, stress meter. Let's get into it. Uh, we will start with Houston. They dropped their last two to Iowa State and Arizona, and they're currently down 5
They are.
to Kansas right
Well,
now,
I'm not
or
taking
4.
in,
Excuse
they're
me.
actually down 2, 37-35. I'm not taking account of this game, obviously, because they could easily win this game still. Uh, Actually, now they're down 4. Um, so I'm not taking account
A
this
little ahead
game,
of you.
but we'll take into account their last 2. I believe that if they lose this game, this will be the first time they've ever lost 3 in a row under Kelvin Sampson,
I think it'll be only the second
or second
time
time.
in not in 9
And
seasons.
I think it's the first time in
Actually,
Big 12 play they've ever lost 3 in a row under Kelvin Sampson. I think that's it.
yes. Mhm.
Insanity. That's how good Kelvin Sampson's been. So credit to him. But at the same time, obviously not the Houston team we're used to seeing. The defense, like we mentioned earlier, is not the best part of this team. The offense is with Flemings. It makes total sense to me. When you have a freshman that good, no wonder. Obviously, they dropped their last 2 games. My stress is 2. If 2 games, 2. It's not that much. They're a good team. They could still win a national championship. This isn't doing anything to hurt their ability. They lost to 2 of the best teams in the nation. I mean, what are you supposed to say to that? I mean, Zona, Iowa State, they're playing Kansas. Darren Peterson is playing. So even if they lose to Kansas tonight, you go, well, they're one of the best teams in the nation as well, especially with Darren Peterson playing. So I can't really say that even with a loss tonight would rank it up even more anymore because they're still a great team. They can still win a national title. They can still get there. I still expect them to get to a Final Four, honestly. This is what the team, they can lose these games. One of the very few teams who can lose these games like this, very close, very difficult, very hard games, and still be looked at as one of the best teams in the nation. And no wonder they're still ranked 5th with 2 losses in a row. They're still ranked 5th with 4 losses. There's no wonder. Even if they lose this game tonight, they might drop to like 6 or 7. Like, there's a reason for that, and that's because they can play the type of ball that wins a national title. We haven't seen it from them,
Mhm.
but they have all the ability in the world to do it. And with Kelvin Sampson at the helm of that boat, they can do it for sure. So I don't have much stress on them. They still, obviously, offense is great. If their defense could pick it up just a tad bit, this team could have been number 1 in the nation.
Sure. All right, nice team on here. Texas Tech. I didn't put them on here because of the games they've played lately, but
I mean, you can. They obviously lost Arizona State last week, and then they play Kansas State. And the news came out.
they not
What, go ahead.
go
You go
ahead.
ahead.
You, I, no, well, I was going to say They freaking pimp slapped
Well, I
Kansas
was gonna
State,
say,
and all
obviously,
and all five starters were in double digits. I have to add that too.
obviously,
That's huge, man.
it's a big deal. Because obviously JT Toppin, terrible news, terrible news. In the Arizona State game, got hurt. Thought that hopefully it wasn't that bad. Comes to find out that he tore his ACL. He will be out for the season. That is terrible news. Horrendous because best player, one of the best players in the nation, obviously in Naismith Player of the Year conversations, stuff like that. It's disappointing to see, especially if you just love watching basketball, even if you're not a Texas Tech fan. It's terrible to see a player like JT Toppin go down. They lose that game to Arizona State, maybe because of that as well. And then they go beat Kansas State up and they score 100 points without JT Toppin. And you go, okay, well, Texas Tech is great. They can still score 100 points. I will say Kansas State obviously just lost Tang, their coach. They're not a great team. 100 points on them isn't anything like insane, but at the same time, putting up 100 points without your number one scorer is a huge deal. And it doesn't like it hurts me to say
Here's
this
what
because I still think Texas Tech's a good team. But I was looking at it today, man, and JT Toppin, who was averaging 22 points a game, Christian Anderson, we talked about them earlier in the season. That was the duo that could be as good as any duo in the nation. They could compete with any team in the nation when those two guys are playing. And for a while, we thought it was just those two guys, and it was always how far can those two guys take us? Obviously, guys have picked it up. Atwell's picked it up. Watts has had games. The problem for me is instead of saying how far can JT Toppin and Christian Anderson take us, it's how far can Christian Anderson and
Donovan
whoever
Atwell.
whoever wants us, whoever steps up that night. We've seen Atwell have his huge games. We've seen Watts have his huge games. But after that, you don't have anybody else that has averaged double digit points the whole season.
Well, and the reason,
Mhm.
like, yeah, I'm on board with you there. I was, and that's why I mentioned what I
Mhm.
said because it's like a oh okay,
Yeah.
because I mean five guys in double digits all in
Yeah.
the starter, which to me it's a big deal. Listen, you're not going to replace JT
No,
Toppin, okay? You can't.
can't.
Like that dude's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
But it's a little. There's really no positive affirmation. I mean,
No,
it's a tough road, but
no.
it's a little like okay, like we've got something to work with.
Yeah, I mean there
It
there
it
is, and honestly, like I had said, I made the statement, Darren Peterson. If you took Darren Peterson off Kansas, it's really like worse than taking any other player off of any other team. I would say JT Toppin is a close second to that, if not same boat because of how good he is. You take him off a team, and the team's going to plummet a little bit. I mean, they are. And, well, actually, I want to talk about him here in just a second, but uh, a little more. But my stress meter for them, I have to rank it like a 6. I mean,
mhm.
because of the
Now,
fact that, man, JT Toppin is just irreplaceable.
yeah, and their four remaining games that I have right here. Yeah,
Mhm.
Cincinnati, Iowa State, TCU, and
I
BYU.
looked at it earlier, man. Not an easy schedule. Not an easy schedule. And I want to talk about it here in just a second, but yeah. But my stress for them is a 6.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a tough one, man. Next is Kansas after getting pimp slapped by Cincinnati.
Man, after seeing what they're doing right now, and after seeing obviously Darren Peterson only played like 19 minutes in the Cincy game, I can't put them like really any stress because the problem being who knows how much Darren Peterson's going to play. Darren Peterson's playing tonight a lot. They're winning this game against Houston. I see no reason why Kansas can't be a national title contending team when Darren Peterson plays. We've already said this. I'm not going to go through this whole debate again. But Kansas is that good. I'm not really worried about them. The Cincinnati loss, we've seen them have a few of those losses where they kind of just lose these games that they really shouldn't. Um, Maybe just get away from them mentality, whatever it is. But when Darren Peterson doesn't play, yeah, their stress could be like a 6 or a 7. when Darren Peterson does play, it's an absolute zero. Like I have no stress about them.
So you want to meet in the middle, like three? Then that's kind of where you're at.
Sure.
Okay. The last team on here, actually going outside the Big 12, I got Clemson. They've dropped four in a row. They lost two to Virginia Tech and Duke. And at first it was kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, like that's part of your schedule. But then you dropped to Wake Forest and then FSU. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it.
No,
Just not
no,
gonna
that's
cut it.
not. And Clemson has been a disappointment lately because I was a guy. Even I was a person just a couple of weeks ago, honestly, saying Clemson could be a dark horse in the ACC because people aren't looking at them and they're they win 20 games. They're under the radar. Nobody's looking at them like every single year. And now it goes, well, there's a reason. No, well, there now's a reason. They have played horrendous basketball. Horrendous basketball. I mean, they don't compete against Virginia Tech. They don't compete against Duke. They don't. I mean, they compete against Wake Forest, but they lose by 8. And they compete against Florida State, but they lose by 5. This is terrible. This is terrible for Clemson. And honestly, they don't have an easy schedule ahead. They play Louisville, and then they play North Carolina and Georgia Tech in the season. They could lose the next 2 games. They could lose 6 in a row. And I think if they lose 6 in a row, they're sitting on that 10-11 seed line. I think they're sitting right there, and there's a chance that they're like having to play a high seed very early in March, which is not what they wanted, which is not what Clemson usually is doing. And that is just not good for them, man. My stress for them, because I think they could easily lose the next 2 games, it's like an 8. I mean, because this is not the Clemson team we expected. Now, yes, they can still go into March, and people could overlook them, and they're probably going to win a game, or maybe even 2 games. It could happen. I'm not saying that that can't happen. I'm saying, though, if they don't get it together quick, and if they don't compete in the next 2 games and have a chance to win 2 ranked matchups, and go into the ACC tournament and maybe have a little bit of something rolling, just a little bit. I don't care, just a little bit. Then it becomes a big problem, and this Clemson team is not going to achieve anything that they wanted this year.
Sure. Again, that's we'll be looking into that, diving deep. I mean, the ACC is gonna be pretty fun, man. I don't. We're not gonna dig into it, but Miami it can be exciting, man.
Yeah,
Fun
it
stuff.
definitely can be exciting. But off of that note, I
It's time though.
actually do want to, well, not kind of talk about the ACC, but talk about a couple teams in the ACC, and that are included in the top 16 teams that came out on Sunday. Um, Obviously, first top 16 ranking out projections. Obviously, these things will change. They're going to change. They've already changed. All the above. I want to talk about the 16 teams. I'm going to name out each of the seeds. Then I want to give some teams that I think will drop in seeding and some teams that I think could rise in seeding. So 1 seeds in this order, going from 1 to 16, obviously ranked highest 1 seed to lowest, highest 2 seed, highest 3 seed, highest 4 seed. Number 1 seeds: Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Iowa State. 2 seeds: UConn, Houston, Illinois, Purdue. 3 seeds: Florida, Kansas, Nebraska, Gonzaga. And 4 seeds: Texas Tech, Michigan State, Vandy, and Virginia. Those are your top 16 teams as of Sunday. It's changed. Or maybe it was it Saturday. I think it was Sunday, right? Either way, it doesn't matter. They've already changed. They're still going to change before Selection Sunday comes. A couple teams I want to mention though. 1 seeds, and I would think you would agree with me here. Michigan, Duke, Zona. They're 1 seeds. I don't care if they lose their next 4. They're 1 seeds. They're going to stay that way. I do not think they will move.
Yep,
Iowa
I'm on the
State
same
though.
page.
They're the only 1 seed that I think could drop. Their next 4, just their remaining games at Utah. They play Texas Tech. They're at Arizona, and then they play Arizona State. 2 games there that are not going to be easy. Obviously, playing Texas Tech, and then playing Arizona at Arizona. Both of those are going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Texas Tech for reasons of to see what they could do without JT Toppin against a ranked team, but also playing Arizona at Zona is not going to be easy. They could lose those games. I think they will drop. My prediction for them is a 2 or 3 seed. I'm leaning more 2 seed than I am 3 seed. But I do think their ceiling is obviously to stay at a 1 seed. Their floor is to drop to a 3 seed. Their lowest they can go is a 3 seed. I think the highest they will go, obviously the highest you can go, is a 1 seed, and they'll keep the lowest ranked spot in the 1 seed. Maybe you agree with that, maybe you don't.
Mm,
I think if they lose against Texas Tech and Arizona, I think there are teams that could jump them into the 2 spot that would kick them down to the 3 spot, especially if they don't do
name
stuff in the Big 12 tournament.
name the two seeds for me again.
UConn, Houston, Illinois, Purdue.
I just don't know who jumps up there. You know, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, out of those, I mean, to me, Purdue's been too inconsistent. UConn's UConn hasn't been great.
I'll give you some teams who could
Uh,
jump them here in just a minute on the risers, I think. But I'm saying
okay.
like a worst
I
case scenario, Iowa State's a 3. I think they will be a 2. I think they will be a 2. Let's put that out there. But the worst they could
I'll be
possibly
honest.
be is a 3.
I'll agree with that. I think they stay at one personally.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, it could
I
happen.
I think they stay at one.
Um, Next team going to the 2 seed line, Purdue. I think they can drop. I think they will drop.
Okay. I thought you were about to say they can jump them. I
No,
was
no,
about to
no,
look at
no,
you like you were.
no.
I mean,
Not at all.
I wasn't gonna call you crazy, but like,
You probably would. Remaining schedule for Purdue: Michigan State, at Ohio State, at Northwestern, and then Wisconsin. I just want to say right now, I
I
think they
see.
will lose to Michigan State. I think they can. I think it's very possible, even at home. I think it can.
I see a possibility of them losing three of those. That
I
may
was going to
sound
say the same.
insane,
There's a
but
possibility. I think they could lose 2. I think they go 2-2. And my prediction is a 3 or 4 seed. I'm leaning 3 seed just because I don't think the committee will drop them down to a 4. I'm leaning 3. I think the highest they can go, their ceiling is a 2. The lowest they can go is a 4. Worst case
I just
scenario.
don't see them winning all four of the games. They've been so inconsistent. What am I supposed to expect?
True.
I mean,
Same
you
thing with
can't call
Michigan
anybody
State, though,
crazy.
and we've seen it, and I will talk about it here in
But
just a second. But
that's. I feel the same about both those teams. I know we'll get to them, but it's like, I mean, how can you sit here with confidence and say yes, they can? They will 100% win all four. They will 100%. Like, I mean, there's
essentially,
no way you can. I mean, there is a way if you feel like saying that, but I don't think it's doable.
yeah.
I don't.
Again, I think I
Yeah.
think the highest they can go is a 2. I think they stay where they are. Even if they were to beat Michigan State, even if they were to win all 4 out, they're not going to jump to the 1 seed line. I don't believe that. Um, unless they were to go to win the Big Ten. But even then, the Big Ten championship game is after they make decisions, so that wouldn't really matter. Um, but I think the lowest they can drop is a
I'd
4.
like not to get too distracted. I'd like to say Kansas is up 14
Yeah, they are.
right
Yeah,
now,
they are. I wasn't going to mention it,
but
but yeah.
I will continue.
Uh,
Go ahead.
so yeah, I think that's the lowest and highest they can be. Uh, they're just up and down, like he said. They could lose the next. They could lose 3 out of the last 4. They could lose 2, or they could win out. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Um, Also in the 2 seed line, though, I want to mention UConn. They obviously lost to Creighton recently. They lost to St. John's just the other week. And these are the remaining
They
games.
place it.
They play St. John's, huge game this week. Then they play Seton Hall, and then they're at Marquette.
Yes.
Not easy games
Let's
to finish
go.
off Big East play. They play 2 of the best teams in the Big East. I know that's kind of a insane thing to say because Seton Hall's really kind of outside the top 3, and yeah, but
Best three ball team in the country. No questions
yeah, they are.
asked.
Um, but they play St. John's obviously at home, which is good for them. They play Seton Hall at home, which is good for them, and then they go away to Marquette. I think of this way. I think they can drop because if they lose to St. John's, they will lose the Big East regular season. They could lose to Seton Hall, honestly, just because of the fact that Seton Hall needs a win. They're sitting right there in the bubble. They need a win. They need something to jolt them up into the field. or just to get them into a play-in game, they're going to play their hardest they possibly can, whether that's shoot 5 threes or not. Um, they're going to play the hardest they possibly can. They're going to give them all they can. They could lose that
I
game,
feel
and
like
I think it's possible.
I feel like UConn also allowed teams to get back into games. Like
Yeah.
they haven't
Well, you saw in
really.
the last Seton
I
Hall
haven't
game. Seton Hall should have won that game. I mean, they should have, but they could not shoot the three. That was the only reason.
that that was brutal to watch.
Yeah.
But I mean, they haven't been able to run away. I mean, I think they will still have a chance.
Yeah.
But the interesting team there for
My
sure.
prediction is they stay a 2 or 3 seed. I'm leaning more they're going to drop down to a 3 seed because I think they do lose the Big East regular season. I think they lose to St. John's or Seton Hall, one of the two. And either way, if they lose one of these games, I think they drop down to a 3 because someone moves up from the 3 seed line. I'll get to that in just a second. Um,
I don't see him getting. I don't see him getting a 1 seed. I'll
no,
say
I've
that.
seen people say that. I don't believe it because even if they beat St. John's and Seton Hall and they win the Big East, I don't care. They are not a 1 seed team. And that's insane to say about a UConn team because they are a good team. They can win, they can compete for a national title. I'm not saying they can't, but they do not deserve a 1 seed. I think there are more better teams that deserve a 1 seed than them. But again, I think the highest they can go is a 2. I think the lowest they can go is obviously a 3. They won't move from that spot. It'll be one of those two. I'm leaning more 3 though. Um,
100%.
then moving on to the 4 seed line, teams that I think could
Or
drop out of the top 16, because I think 3 seeds. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think that. I honestly don't think there's going to be anybody drop. I think there are going to be people move up, but I do not think anybody will drop from that. I would not bet on one of those teams dropping. But moving down to the 4 seed line, I talked about just a minute ago, Texas Tech. I think they will drop. Remaining games on the schedule: Cincy, at Iowa State, TCU, and then at BYU. You name those 4 games. They could go 2-2 in these games easily. They could go 1-3 in these games. There's a possibility, mainly because Cincy needs another big win. They're still outside of the bubble, but they're still in the chase. They would need a really good Big 12 tournament, maybe even have to win it, but they're still looking for something to jolt them up. Same thing with TCU, but TCU's on the bubble. They need a win. They're going to give them all they've got. And then obviously Iowa State, BYU, they're both hard. And playing at Iowa State is really difficult, and playing at BYU is really difficult. And with how AJ DeBanza has been playing, that's the guy that I think should probably be Naismith Player of the Year. Not even gonna lie, he has been insane. With how he's been playing, and without them having JT Toppin, I don't think Christian Anderson can stay intact with AJ. Like I don't think they can go point for point. Not like I thought. Not like I think JT Toppin and AJ could do. I don't think Christian Anderson can stay on track with AJ. So that's going to be a tough game. I think they lose that game at least. At least lose that game. My prediction is a 4 or 5 seed, but I think they drop down to a 5th seed. I think they drop down to a 5. Somebody moves up. Maybe St. John's. If they beat UConn, they can move up. Maybe Arkansas. Maybe Bama. A couple of those on the 5 seed line. But I think they do drop down. I think they go to a 5. I think their ceiling is a 3. I think the highest they can go is a 3 seed. Lowest they can go is a 5 seed. I don't think even if they lose 3 of the games, they'll drop down to a 6 seed. I don't think there's good enough 6 seeds for them to drop down that far. I do think though they still have a chance for a 3 seed. If this Texas Tech team shows us that it can play without JT Toppin and wins against Iowa State, wins against BYU, or if they win out, I think they can get a 3 seed. I think it's very possible. But I wouldn't put the likelihood of them doing that too high. And then, well, I just want to make sure. Do you agree with that?
Definitely. I agree with what you're saying. I do think though, like I think there is a chance, there is a world
Mm-hmm.
where Texas Tech wins all 4 of their remaining schedule with
Yeah.
what they have.
Yeah.
I think there is with what they have on that roster. Like there is no JT Toppin, but they shoot the ball well.
They
I
do.
think they're a solid shooting team.
Yeah.
And to me, that you know, Donovan Atwell and Christian Anderson are going to have to be the dudes. They've got to play well. They've got to be there. They've got to show up. But I think there is a world where they win all four
Oh yeah.
and move up.
Oh yeah.
But everything you said was perfect.
Okay.
So yes, I 100% agree.
And then last four seed I want to talk about is Vandy. Obviously, they've already dropped out of the four seed with their two losses this last week. They've already dropped out. They're not. But my remaining games on their schedule: Georgia, at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, and then at Tennessee. They finished three away games. I don't know who made that schedule, but they butchered them. I just want to say, three away games to end the season is, ugh, it's just terrible. But same time, Tennessee's going to be hard. They just lost to them. Playing at Tennessee too, that's going to be difficult. Playing at Kentucky, Kentucky needs a good win. That's going to be difficult. Georgia, obviously, sitting right there, not really bubble, but they're close to maybe dropping into the bubble. They're going to need a win too. And Ole Miss, I don't see too much from them, but still, they go play at Ole Miss. Who knows? Vandy hasn't looked great recently at all. They've been bullied. Their weaknesses are
Are,
like legitimate massive holes in the side of their boat. And if you can just fill them with water, they
uh,
will sink.
fouls, size. I mean, they're just. I mean
All the
that's where
things we
you're at.
said
I
earlier in
mean,
the season that they could have problems with have been their Achilles heel.
it's tough with what they are a solid team. It's not that they're not, but
Yeah,
like if you want to be a contender for a title,
yeah,
you can't allow teams to go to the free throw line as much, and you've got to be big, man. Why
yeah,
was Florida so good? I mean, daggum, you got four bigs. I mean, you gotta, and the guard play was good, of
yeah.
course, but guard play, bigs, you got to be able to play, man. And I just don't see it with them. But you said everything perfectly for me.
I They will not get the two seed they were looking at earlier in the season. They will not get the three seed they were looking at just a few weeks ago. That's not going to happen. I think the prediction for me is they stay a 4 or 5 seed. I think they drop down to a 5 seed. One of those 5 seeds replaces them. I think that's going to happen. Their ceiling, I think the highest they can go is 4. The lowest they can go, and this is insane for me to say, but I think the lowest they can go is a 6. I think if they lose to Tennessee, they lose to Kentucky, maybe if they lose to Georgia even as well, they will drop down to a 6. I think they don't have it'll be close. That would be like worst case scenario. Absolutely, they lose all 4 games. Maybe they drop down to a 6 seed. They lose like straight game out of the SEC tournament, something like that. I don't think they'll drop that low. I think they will stay a 5 seed, but I do think there is a world where maybe they just play absolutely terrible and they lose these games and they drop to a 6. Okay, those are my teams I think will drop. So 5 teams that I think have a chance to drop of this somewhere in this 16. Now the teams I think could rise. Right off the bat, we're going to the 3 seed. You shouldn't be surprised by this, but Florida. Obviously, yes, I will be a little biased. I am a Florida fan. But at the same
I won't
time,
be
I look at
biased. They
statistics.
they are.
Yeah, I look at statistics. I am a big statistical guy. One of the reasons why I love college basketball so much. I'm not doing this just out of the love of my heart of Florida. I'm doing this based off KimPom, based off net, based off every single statistical rating that you could possibly
Can
have.
I just interject real quick? I just want to interject. Forget Ken Palm for me. I just use my eyes.
Yeah.
As simple as I can. They are the best team in the SEC, and
Oh yeah.
you will not change my mind. And that's all I need to say. I have eyes. You use your eyes. You can be able to sit here and tell me they are the best team in the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Exactly.
guard play has gotten better. They have got the pieces to go do it again. The guard play was a
Mhm.
question. I told you a couple weeks ago. I was like, I'm not too sure. My mind's changed. They are a national title team. Don't. I mean, you just
Yeah.
use your eyes. I mean, come on, use your eyes, man. What are
No,
you not
it's
seeing?
definitely true. And again, that's why I say this. I'm not just doing this based off of my fandom of, being a Florida fan. No,
As I'm do. I'm do.
everything ranks them as high as I think they can be as well. Evan Maya ranks
Yeah.
them 3. Obviously, Kim Pom, they're ranked number 5. Net, they're ranked 7th. They have all the reasons to be as high as they can be. So I do think they can rise. Their remaining schedule, they go to Texas. They play Arkansas. They play Mississippi State, and then they go to Kentucky to end the season. Big games left. 3 quad 1 games still left to play. If they win all 3 quad 1 games, they could have 11 quad 1 wins at the end of the season, which I just want to say is insanity. And they would play, I think, 17 quad 1 games in total, which is insane in its own right, no matter if they win or lose. But insane games for them. Obviously, Arkansas is going to be, I mean, honestly, could be one of the biggest, if not the biggest game of the season for them. And they still
They
play
got a squad,
Kentucky
man.
at the end of the year. It's going to be tough, but if Florida wins these games, my prediction is a 2 or 3 seed. I think they will get the 2 seed.
Realistically,
I think I know what you're about to say, and I'm about to say it as well. I think they get the 2 seed. I think they can win out. As a Florida fan, obviously I want to see it, but I think they can win out, especially with how they've been playing recently. I don't see what can stop them. Maybe just if someone outshoots them, that could happen. Maybe they lose one of these games, but if they beat Arkansas, they beat Kentucky, and they could win the SEC tournament. Obviously, championship game's not going to matter because decisions are made before that. But I think they can get up to a 2 seed. Now, I think the highest they can go is a 1 seed. This is insane to say, but I think the highest they can go is a 1 seed. The lowest they can go is a 3 seed. I think in a perfect world for Florida fans like myself, or just for anybody watching basketball, perfect world, Florida wins out, wins all the games that they play before the selection committee on that Sunday in the SEC tournament. They absolutely dominate everybody, and the selection committee goes, they are one of the best 4 teams in the nation. Because, like I just said, net ranking wise, because they have 3 quad 1 wins, 3 quad 1 win opportunities left, they could have 11 quad 1 wins. There's only a handful of teams that could say that they could have that many, and they're all at the top right now. Kim Palm rankings, they're obviously, like I said, they're 5th. There is absolutely no reason that if they were to win out the rest of the games until selection committee Sunday comes, that they could not be a 1 seed. Now, will they happen? Again, I think they'll stay a 2 seed. But I think in every statistical ranking, every statistical detail, every statistical opportunity and chance, there is a perfect world where Florida could get a 1 seed.
I don't disagree. If you want to be honest, I think the only game I see y'all losing, I think possibly, I mean, y'all could lose Arkansas. I think Texas would be the one. I don't know why. It's just kind of a gut feeling, but also
It's
me,
going to be
as good
up, yeah.
Texas has been playing. I think Texas will be, if y'all lose one, I think that'll be the one y'all lose. But I think they're deserving of the 1 seed. I mean, read the 1 seeds off for me one more time. I want to make sure I
I think
really,
Michigan, Duke, and Zona will stay. It's whether or not Iowa State stays up there.
I think y'all can jump Iowa State. I know I don't think it happens, but if Iowa State drops a couple, I think Florida. I mean, Florida. I think they're deserving of the 1 seed. I mean, they have proven it. Uh, the guard play has gotten better. They've shown me. I was never concerned about the paint size. I
Mm.
mean that was never a surprise for me. But uh, the guard play got better. They're a good team, man. I mean, I think they're better than Iowa State. I'll even. I don't want to say that. That may be a little extreme.
Well, I'm not going to let
Actually,
you.
you know
Okay,
what?
all right, go ahead. If you want to say it.
I'm going to fire it away. I think Florida's better than Arizona.
Okay, well, that's insane because they did get beat by Zona first game of the season. But
It happened first game of the
yeah.
season, but I think now they are a better team. I think things have changed a little bit. I think if they were to play today, I think Florida will be the better team. I think Florida shot the ball
Mhm.
better. I think in the paint they're equally matched, and I think Florida's going to outshoot Arizona.
Ruben Chinula.
I think they're a better team now.
Chinula, that's all I got to say.
Exactly.
I think he's gotten 10
But
times better.
yeah, but it's an extreme take, but I stand by. I think right now, I think Florida is a better team than Arizona.
Okay.
I know they played first week, but I think right now, if they were to play neutral site today, I would take Florida.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, good take. Um, then going to the 4 seed, I think there are a couple teams that could jump up. Michigan State. The remaining games for Michigan State at
Mm.
Purdue, at Indiana. They play Rutgers at Michigan. I think they can rise because of the games they play. I think they can beat Purdue. I think they can beat Indiana. I think they give Michigan a run for their money. If not, could beat them. And then come Big Ten tournament play, what could they do? I think they move up at least one. I think they stay 3 or 4 seed. I think they stay. My prediction is they go 3 seed. They move up one. Maybe they beat Purdue. If they beat Purdue, they're going to move up. I think they go to the 3 seed line, especially with me thinking Florida will move up to a 2 seed. They'll kind of like take their spot. I think the ceiling for them is a 2 seed. Absolute highest they can go is a 2 seed. That's them winning out the rest of the season here and beating Michigan. I think that can get to the 2 seed. I think the lowest they can go is a 4 seed. I think they just stay where they are. Even if they lose to Purdue and Michigan, that doesn't drop them out. They're still one of the best 16 teams in the nation. But I think it all depends, man. It all depends on their offense. I mean, legitimately, their defense can take them as far as they can. It just depends on their offense. I mean, we've said it all year, but I think it's as high as they can go as a 2, and the lowest they can go is a 4.
I don't disagree. I don't think they're getting to it too, man.
I
I
don't think
mean,
they'll get to a 2
he-
either.
I,
I think they'll get to a 3,
I'll give
but
I'll give him a chance because it's Tom Izzo.
yeah,
Okay, it's Tom Izzo, so I'll be like,
can't
I'll
count it
give it
out.
to him. But like the consistency for me, man,
Oh
like
yeah,
it's the same
I
with Purdue. It's the same with
yeah,
Purdue. It's the same. It's like it's to me. It's like okay, like I mean, where am I going to put my money? Like I mean, I don't. To me, like for me to ride with you as a team, you got to be consistent.
yeah.
And for me, Michigan State it hasn't been it.
Again, I think they'll end up in between there in the middle at the 3 seed, but just what I think possibility wise is what they could do. And then the last team I want to mention, team I really love, a team I've been saying from the ACC. You were talking about ACC being interesting. Virginia. Virginia.
Uh huh.
They were sitting at the 16 spot going after these rankings. Obviously, they'll move up because Vandy's been bad, but I think Vandy can move up. Sorry, I think Virginia can move up. Vandy's moved down. Virginia already taken a spot. I think Virginia can move up. Remaining games for them: they play NC State. They play at Duke, Cameron Indoor. Whew. Then they play Wake and Virginia Tech. They have every reason on planet Earth to be able to jump. Why? NC State's going to be a quad one. Duke's going to be a quad one, obviously. Um, they can win both of those games. I think they win 3 out of the 4. I think they win 3 out of the 4. It's whether or not what they do against Duke. I think they can beat Duke. I think they can, especially Duke coming off a huge win like they just had. Obviously, they have a game before that, but maybe they kind of still stumble into them thinking, we can win this game, and they don't. I'm not saying, Virginia's just going to outright win, but I think they have a chance to win, even at Cameron Indoor. So, my prediction for them is a 3 or 4 seed, but I think they move up to a 3 seed. I think they move up to a 3 seed. If they beat NC State with potentially Texas Tech moving down, or potentially Florida moving up, if Michigan State doesn't take that spot, I think Virginia could, move up one. I think the highest they can go, and this is going to be insane to say, but I think the highest they can go is a 2. I think the highest that's like a perfect world. They went out, they win ACC games until selection committee 2. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it'll even get close to happening, honestly. I think they can be the highest 3 seed. But if they beat Duke, I don't know. They might be in the conversation. Their losses are not bad at all. They've only lost 4 games this year, and 3 are quad 1, one's quad 2. That's not even, I mean, man, they have every chance in the world to say that they have the ability and the reason to be a 2 seed. I don't think it'll happen. But I think the lowest they can go is they stay right where they are, and they're at 4 seed. I mean, they lose to Duke, they lose to Duke. It's not going to drop them. I think they'll end up at a 3. insane world, maybe they go to a 2, but I don't think that'll happen. Even with as good of a team as I think they are, I think they could still win the ACC. I think they have every right. There's a couple other teams too in Miami or UNC, Louisville, who could compete as well. But yeah, Virginia, man, I think that's what they could do.
I'm on the same boat as you. I mean, they played well for me, man.
Yeah,
I've seen what I need to see, and I think they are a solid team.
yeah. Well, those are the that's our ranking. That's our ranking. Look at the rankings for this top 16 seed. Obviously, like we said, that'll change. We'll have a whole different top 16 next week. I mean, like could be completely different for all we know. Um, but yeah, that rounds out that. Now, last but not least, schedule. Schedule. There's a lot of games. Obviously, it's come down to the end of the season here, end of the regular season here, and there's a lot of games to watch. Bubble teams, upset alerts, stuff like that. So let's run through them pretty quickly. Starting tomorrow night, obviously not counting the games that are on right now, but starting tomorrow night, NC State of Virginia, huge game. We're just talking about that. West Virginia, Oklahoma State. I put this on there because both teams are on the bubble. It's going to be a bubble game. Be huge for the winner, really tough for the loser. Cincy at Texas Tech. Cincy, again, needing a big win. Tennessee at Mizzou. USC at UCLA. Two bubble teams as well. UCLA coming off that big win. Can they get another big win? It would be a huge loss for USC if they do lose that game. And then UCF at BYU. UCF, another team that's they just need another win to kind of up their seeding. And BYU don't need to stumble. Wednesday, Georgia at Vandy. Vandy needing to bounce back. St. John's at UConn. Huge game. I think it's on upset alert for me. I think St. John's can pull it off. But we'll see. Also
I do
would
too.
determine the Big East. This will determine which way the Big East goes. If St. John's wins, they pretty much lock up the Big East regular season. If UConn wins, they can win the Big East regular season title as well. Texas A&M at Arkansas. Ohio State at Iowa. Bubble watch for Ohio State. They need a win. They're right on the bubble. SMU at Cal. Another bubble game. Huge for both teams. SMU's kind of in there like the 10 seed right now, or 9 seed for some. But Cal, another team that needs a win. Can't lose. Can't afford to lose. Utah State at San Diego State. San Diego State needs a win. Utah State can't afford another loss either. But San Diego State needs a win. And then Santa Clara at St. Mary's. Another bubble team, two bubble teams right now. Some have them in, some have them not. It kind of depends what brackets you look at. I think both teams deserve to be in the field, not gonna lie. But I also am putting that on upset alert because I believe St. Mary's will be the favorite because they're playing at home. I think Santa Clara can win that game. They are a good team. Watch out for them to actually. They have every reason in the world to win the WCC. So I'm just saying. Thursday, only big game on Thursday. Michigan State at Purdue. Just talking about that. Could affect seeding. Saturday, a lot of good games. We're going to run them off here. Virginia at Duke. I think Virginia can upset Duke. Seton Hall at UConn. Bubble game for Seton Hall. They need it. Big game for UConn to win the Big East regular season title. Vandy at Kentucky. Louisville at Clemson. Clemson needs some wins. San Diego State at New Mexico. If San Diego State can get a win on Utah State on Wednesday, this will be a huge game for another rep towards getting them out of the bubble. Kansas at Arizona. Huge game, seeding wise. Texas Tech at Iowa State. Same thing. Can Texas Tech play good against a ranked team without JT Toppin? Bama at Tennessee. I didn't really mention so much of them, but they're both sitting right there on that like 5-6 seed line. Maybe they could move up to the top 16 depending on what happens at the end of the season there. Nova at St. John's. Another big game, especially for St. John's if they want to win the regular season Big East title. Arkansas at Florida. We just talked about that game. Darius Acuff versus Tommy Howe and Florida. Huge game. Virginia Tech UNC. Bubble watch again for Virginia Tech. Need a win. Gonzaga at St. Mary's. St. Mary's needs a win. Bubble. I also think upset alert though. I think St. Mary's pulls it off this time. They were so close last time and they're at Gonzaga. They're playing at home this time. I think they can do it. And then Sunday, 2 games Sunday, wrap it up, and then 2 games Monday. Sunday, Purdue at Ohio State, bubble watch team at Ohio State, and then Michigan State at Indiana. Just a big game. Then next Monday, while we're doing the pod, probably Duke at NC State will be huge. I think this is insane to say, but I think upset. I think upset alert. I think it's a watch at least. At NC State, they've been playing good ball. It could happen, I think. And then Iowa State at Arizona. Huge game seeding wise. Will be a big game. And then, last but not least, sicko schedule. Favorite schedule of the week. I love it more than the regular schedule, even though Florida's on the regular schedule. A lot of good games this week. We're coming down to the end of the regular season for a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams in the regular season this week. A lot of the mid-majors. And we start tournament games come next week. So we will talk about that more Monday. But a lot of seeding and conference tournaments. Who can win the regular season? Who clinches one spot? Stuff like that. Huge. Tuesday. I put my Miami, Ohio at Eastern Michigan here just because of the fact that we want to see if Miami, Ohio can finish off a regular season undefeated. 2 games left. So Miami, Ohio, EMU finished the regular season off. St. Louis at Dayton. I mean, gain more leverage for the A10 if Dayton could win. They could. Or more like gain more leverage for St. Louis to win the A10 and just kind of show that they're dominant. I think that's what will happen. Also, regular season title. I think St. Louis clinches it up if they win this game. Wednesday, Wofford at ETSU. ETSU, if they win this game, they clinch the win in the SoCon for the first seed. They clinch the regular season title. But if Wofford can win this game, they'll probably meet again in the SoCon conference tournament game, so maybe they can get some momentum going. USF at Rice. USF has been amazing recently. Oh my gosh, you talk about a hot team. They are one of the hottest. They're 1.5 games ahead in the American, which has been interesting this year. They'll keep their lead if they win this game and win 6th game in a row. Thursday, North Dakota State at St. Thomas. North Dakota State will win the regular season title if they win this game. Also, big game for a potential matchup again in come the tournament time. Hawaii UC Davis tied at the top of the Big West. Hawaii is with 2 other teams. And UC Davis is 1.5 games behind, so they need to win this game. Could be big if they still want a chance to win the Big West regular season. Portland at Montana State. 3 games behind is Montana State. Still a small chance for the regular season title, but a win could give them something to gain, and maybe they can meet again in the Big Sky tournament. Tennessee State at SEMO, tied first in the OVC. Winner moves ahead and potentially could lock up a 1 seed in the OVC tournament. UT Arlington at CBU. CBU is 1 game back. They need to win this game. Really? Wait, okay, maybe they are. For some reason, I was thinking in their head. UT Arlington needs to win. They have the slightest chance to win the conference regular season tournament, but regular season title. But I mean, maybe getting some runway going to the tournament. And then Cal State Northridge versus UC Irvine. They're tied at the top of the Big West. The 2 other teams tied with Hawaii. Big for whoever could have a chance to win that regular season title. Then Friday, Miami, Ohio at Western Michigan. Again, undefeated regular season. This would wrap it up if they can beat Eastern Michigan. And then Western Michigan, this would be an undefeated regular season. Saturday, Tennessee State at UT Martin. Tennessee State is tied first, like I just mentioned a second ago. They play SEMO. That's huge. UT Martin is 1 game back. They need the win. Also could be big coming conference tournament time. And then Sunday, huge game on Sunday. Charleston at UNC Wilmington determines the regular season conference championship. Charleston is 1.5 games behind, so they will need to win that if they don't want UNC Wilmington to win the regular season title. And that wraps up Sicko Schedule. A lot of games, a lot of great games. There's a lot of other good games if you just wanted to go watch mid-majors, but those are just the ones that mean something at the top of conferences. And we'll dive into more of like those mid-major conference tournaments next week. But that was all your schedule. That was a lot, but you have it all. And Kansas is winning by 13. I think they're going to win this game. So, but that's it. That is it for us tonight. Unless you have anything to add.
I got nothing. Nothing on to add on for tonight. For the rest of the week, kind of our plans going forward. Wednesday, PGA Tour, always great week there. Thursday, college baseball. Really excited to get into that. Obviously, I gave you my schedule for the week. A bunch of good stuff, plus some
Mm-hmm.
upsets. And then next Monday, go over conference tournament. Um, I'll probably mention this again at some point. I know kind of everybody hearing this first time, even yourself included. Uh, we'll probably in about a couple of weeks, our Thursday episodes will be getting put out on Friday. It'll probably I have to
The first one.
I know. Have to start I got umpiring starting. So that means late nights, which means we'll probably get the videos coming out more Friday. And then we'll be back to usual Thursday schedule. So we will work around that and get that figured out. But um, it's that time of year, man. NHL is about to start back again, and I think it's time to shout out the red, white, and blue. Quinn Hughes,
Yeah, amazing win.
not
Great
just
game.
Quinn Hughes. Shout out Jack Hughes, little 5-hole little release, beat Bennington,
Amazing
buddy.
game.
Who Canada? Who? Not good enough. They weren't good enough. Hellebuck,
Amazing.
dog.
Amazing.
Hellebuck, dog.
Absolutely.
You know, I really just want to be like him one day.
Yeah.
Clutch.
That was a great game.
Absolutely
I think, most I've been glued to
clutch.
a TV for a hockey game ever. So, but great to see.
Trust me, I've been glued to TV or plenty of hockey games. But the Olympic, like I think I would. This is insane to say. I think I was more glued to the TV for the Olympics than I was Vegas when they were on the Stanley Cup run and they won the cup that year. I was glued to the TV, but these Olympics, like I was, there's a different feeling, man.
Yeah,
It,
it was
it's
insane.
it's a feeling that can't be explained.
Not at all. Great to watch though. But I think that wraps it up for us tonight. Obviously, we'll see you all again Thursday, Friday, whatever it is. Obviously, we'll see you Wednesday with PGA Tour. And yeah, we can't wait till next Monday to talk about more college basketball again. So yeah,
I'm excited. I'm pumped. Hey, go check out college baseball. We'll have a video at Thursday, and just like college basketball, you'll have a schedule to
sure.
watch. But go check that out. And the PJ Tour, of
Follow
course.
us Instagram, uh, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, and then obviously go watch podcasts on Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, and yeah, give us a follow, give us a like, share this with other people so they can watch it and they know what to watch. And we'll see y'all later this week.
Yes, you will. Peace out.